Alright, welcome guys. In this presentation, I'm going to share with you something really amazing that is going to revolutionize the way you create website. It is what I call WordPress PHP. If you have actually used the WordPress.js framework, which is based on the Node.js as well as MongoDB, and if you have used it, you know how great that particular content management system is, also known as the CMS. And in this CMS, what I did was I took the same framework from Node.js and I converted it into PHP. And the reason you might be wondering is like, why in the world did you convert that? We already have a great content management system, which is called WordPress. Everyone uses it. Why do we need another a content management system? For one, WordPress is great. I agree with you. However, it does have a limitation. If you have been developing websites for a while, you know what those limitations are. But if you're new to this brand new world, first of all, welcome. We have been waiting for you. And secondly, sooner or later, you're going to come across this content management system. It's called the WordPress. And as you start to develop more and more websites, you're going to start to realize how problematic it will become every time a new version comes up. For example, one of the biggest problem that particular management WordPress has is, for example, if you have a website that is without HTTPS and you want to convert it into HTTPS, that is a pain in the butt. If you ever had to deal with that, it is so annoying. And another one is if you come across where you want to update something, it's very slow. And if you have ever faced those problems along with other problems, you will see how powerful this thing is. If you ever use the Node.js version of it, which is the WordPress.js.com, if you go to that website, you can download the Node.js version. But this one, I'm going to show you how you can use the PHP version. So without any further ado, let me show you how easy it is to install, and then how easy it is to use, and all the different features as a web developer that you need to customize your website so it will be fast, number one. Number two, it will be easy for other people to use it. And number three, but most importantly, you can easily customize the hell out of it. So let me show you how you can do that. Alright, so in this part, I'm going to show you how you can install this WordPress PHP version. So after you have downloaded the zip file into your computer, depending on which version of computer you're using, whether it'll be a Windows, Mac, or Linux environment, you can just appropriately pick your local host. I'm going to be using XAMPP. And if you want to use that file along with this tutorial, you're more than welcome to do it. But if you have another LAMP or whatever that you're using for your local host, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you are going to use XAMPP, or if you don't have XAMPP, you want to install it to follow along with this video, I'm gonna leave a link in the description that will allow you to install XAMPP on your local machine, whether you're using Mac, Windows, Linux, or whatever the case might be. So I'm gonna assume from this point on you already have a local server installed in your PC. So let's move forward. So wherever you have it, if you install XAMPP, I have created a directory called WordPress-PHP, and from your zip file you can extract all of these files and folder in here. And then after that, what you can do is you can go to your PHP admin. Once again, if you're using XAMPP, or if you want to use XAMPP, you can click on the link below that will teach you how to get it installed. number one. Number two, how you can install the PHP, my PHP admin in it as well. But if you have your own personalized local server, you can go to your my PHP admin part of it and then create a database by going to, let's just say, the very first part. When you log into it, you're going to get the screen, and from here you want to click on databases, and then in here I'm just going to create a simple database called node-press-php, and that's all you need to do. And then after that, if you want, you can close it out, but I'll just leave it here for now just to show you that if I refresh the screen, only thing that it has, let's see where it is. It is. It just has the database created with no table whatsoever. To get started, if you go to, let's just say, in my case, I have a folder. Let me just show you my htdoc. If you're using XAMPP, this is the part where you need to go to. And within the htdoc, I have created a folder called node-press-php, which takes me to this. And if I click on it, go to it, it's going to take me to configuration part of it, where I can say install my node-press-php version of the content management system. So in here, you can give your site a title. I'm just going to call it a test site, and then you can create obviously basic information, which is your user ID and password, email, and then your MySQL host URL. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to leave it localhost because that's where I am installing this in. But obviously, if you are going to use it for your live server, and by the way, I have used this version for many different live websites, one of them being mine, which is Code with Mark. This is running this version right now. So if you have went to that website and you know what I'm using behind scenes, which is this version. So that's that. And then you can put your URL for your server, SQL URL, and then whatever the database name is, and the user ID and the password. For this example, I have created a database called node-press-php, and for the username, I'm just going to leave it the default one, which is root, and then I'll go up here just to create a user ID. I'm just going to call it Mark1, and then my super secret password, which is 123, and then confirm it 123, and my email will be gmail.com. And then after that, all I really do is I can hit enter or click on install NodePress. I'm just going to click on install NodePress. And the reason why there is no password in here, because default user for your local host, it doesn't have a password. It just has all the rights as an admin. So I'm just going to click on install NodePress, and then voila, it's done. So if we want to log into it, all we do is click on login, and I'm logged in. The reason why I'm showing that, because I have done this before. If I will log out, and if I want to log in, let's just say if I want to go to the main site. So this is the main site. By default, it will come with 3 themes that you can use and to create your website. Obviously, you can customize the themes, which I will be sharing it later on in the video, another video in the future. But just to give you an idea how powerful this thing is, how easy it is to use. So let's just say this is our test site, and this, the very first thing what it does is creates a post called hello world. If I click on it, and within like half a second it goes right to that post, and then it also has the ability to comment, and then you could do the moderation behind scenes and all that stuff. So if I want to log into it, just like your other content management system, in here all you're going to do is go to your website. In this case is the node-press-php/np-admin. That's how you get to your admin dashboard. And then here you're going to type in your user ID, which will be Mark, and then super secret password 123, hit enter, and this is the dashboard. This is going to be your admin dashboard. On the left hand side, you will have different options. One of them being the post, your media, whether its file is, whether it could be your music file, audio file, PHP file, your video file, or any kind of file that you have, it will be available here. And then you got your pages, your comment, appearance, and plugin user settings, and pretty URL and SEO, just to show you what these options are. And then on the right hand side up top here, if you click on it, it's going to give you ability to look at all the different options that it has to offer, meaning some of the default settings you can click on it. So for example, if I click on this, it's going to say, hey, this is my site URL, which is this. If you want to change it, you could literally just come in here and change it to something else. If you want to change the title, you could change it here, but there are other places which it automatically does. So if I were you and you're just like playing around with this, I would just leave this section alone for now, and later on, as you get more in tune, advanced with this particular framework, you can play around with it. But for the time being, I would just leave it alone. The next section I want to show you is the profile, in which you can change your login ID. So for example, right now it says Mark 1, and if I just say call it test user, and then actually I was just going to leave this alone, Mark 1, and then display name would be whatever is showing here. So I'll just call it test user, and then URL, whatever. I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'll hit update. And if I refresh it, and now over here, rather than say Mark 1, it will say test user. Simple things. So if I go back to the home page, at the moment, it will tell you the total number of posts you have and total views that particular post has. And then same thing for pages, so on and so forth. You can go to your posts one of two ways. One of them is by clicking on view here, same thing for the pages, or on the left hand side under posts, you can click on it, and then it will drop down where it will show you all the posts. You can add a post, categories, so forth and so forth. So let's just go to all posts, and then here, this is gonna literally, I kid you not, you're gonna be like, oh my god, how did I create websites before? How did I create blog posts before? I should have been using this for day one. And let me show you why that's the case. So if I click on, if I want to create a new post, I could just click on this button, or I can click on here, add new post. In here, you could just give your post a name, call it post 2. As you click out of it, it's gonna create a friendly URL for you that you can automatically, it will automatically take the name, but if you want to edit it, you can type it test 2 or 4, 5, 6, whatever, and it does take your regular URL parameters. So I would be use that as in terms of whatever the logical URL people use that. Like for example, use only dashes, letters and numbers only, nothing fancy like a $sign or something. But if you do try to type in like a $sign, like for example, if I do it, it's going to override it. It's gonna not allow you to do that because it wants you to have a SEO friendly URLs that will be helpful for other search engines for you to find your URL. So let's move on. So where one of the things that this thing shines is called, for the blog post, it's called teaser. Sometimes when you go to a certain website that is created on your WordPress content management system or any other content management system, where you read, let's say, a few lines of text, and then it has like a read more part of it, and then you go click on read more, and that few line of text that you have already read to click more, that shows up again on the whole page post part of it. So in this one, what it does give you is it gives you the ability to say, hey, this is the teaser that you can read. And then when you go to the actual blog post, you will not see the teaser part. So let me show you what I mean. So let me just make that small letter right here. So I'm just going to call this This is a teaser content, and I'm just gonna leave it alone. And then I'll scroll down here. Unlike your other content management system, in this one you have the ability to say whether you wanted to the button to say read more, or you can say listen, or you can say find out more, or watch the video, or whatever. You have the complete flexibility to type that in here. So in this case, what I'll say is, say, call it watch the video or something like that, just for giggles. And then if I go down now, this is where the post content comes in. So in here, I'll say this is post content. You will love it. All right. So for now, I'm just going to leave this alone just the way it is, just these two parts. And on the right hand side, you can add categories. So let me move this around here. I'll make this a bigger so it fits a little more thing here. So if you want to, let's just say you have one category and you want to add another category, just call, I don't know, I'll just call it test and add to it. And then this drop down box will come up. So whatever added category that you put in here, it will come up here just like you would add a category. No big deal. So you just put a checkbox in here. And obviously if you want to add more category, call it test 2, add it and click away. And then you can literally just add multiple categories that this post will be assigned to it. And then also you can add a feature image where a picture can be used to show when someone goes to that particular post. So for example, if I say just this one, and if I go that will be the feature image for this particular post. And then up here you can add tags like a keyword, stuff like that. Then you can say allow comments or not, but at the same time you can also schedule it, your future date, your post or publication, whether it be page or post. So say if you want to if you click on this button, this calendar will come up, and then you could type in whichever date you want the post to be available for the rest of the world to be seen. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it the time it is, and you can save it as a draft or you can preview it. But for this example, I'm just gonna publish it right away. And I don't know if you noticed or not, I just hit the button publish, and then half a second later it has saved all this information into the database, and now it's ready for us to look at it. So if you want, I could just click on this button and look at it, and this is like nothing happened. That's what you think. You're like, oh, whoa, what would you do, right? So pay close attention to this part where this says this is this post content you will love, this right here. So if I go to the home page, now I have post 2, which is the post name, and then I have this is a teaser content. Whereas other content management, if you click on watch new, first of all, you don't have the option to say watch more or watch anything. You don't have the option to customize this. You only have the option to say read more only. Well, one problem with that is there's a possibility when you click on this button, on the other side, there might be a podcast, or there could be a video, or there could be numerous other things other than read more. So why shouldn't this thing say anything else but read more? I mean, it should give you the ability, and with this particular framework, it does give you the ability. So pay close attention to this. So in here, this is a teaser contract. If I click on it, that teaser contract will not show up again. That's one of the greatest features I love about this part. And let's go to our pages part of it. So like your post, it's the same process where you type in the title of your page or page name, and you give it a URL. And then in here, the title a teaser. And then also keep in mind, anytime you type anything in your teaser content, that will come up as your description part of the page. So for example, let's just say I'll say this part. So let's just say code with Mark, right? So this is the title, which in this case the page will be whatever that page name is, and then the description part, which is this part, that will become your teaser. So you can have a customized teaser for every single post and every single page. So let's move on. And then we'll move on to the next part. So teaser part is pretty self-explanatory. I would recommend that you don't include any pictures or videos in your teaser because that wouldn't make any sense. But if you want to, you can play around with it, but I don't recommend it. And that's that. And then if you want to add like any graphical images or YouTube videos or whatever, you can click appropriate button. This is very easy, and you can do this to any of these post or pages. But another thing that this particular content management system gives you is the ability to add. First of all, as you probably see, this is a lot more user-friendly for a developer, the editor. It feels like you're using a Word document, but also, so let's just say if I want to add some sort of a code in here and then show it on the page. So let me just copy some code. So let's say I have a web page or blog post or whatever that I want to show this as a code. Unlike your other content management where you have to install another plugin to show the code part of it, and as a web developer, that could be quite frustrating. It's like, oh my god, I gotta go download this plugin, and then the plugin has to load, then it's gonna slow down my website, so on and so forth. Unlike that, in here, you literally just click on this button and you just paste it, and you can give it an option of whether it'll be HTML code, JavaScript, whatever. But in this case, I'm just gonna say this is JavaScript code, which it is, and then click OK, and then it's done. And if I click on publish and I look at it, and look at this, it's just no additional code or no additional plugin or none of that else has to be installed in order for your visitor to say, hey, this is pretty cool. So it's built right into it. But in addition to that, so I'm going to delete this out just for giggles. In addition to that, you also have the ability as a web developer to add customized code right into your source code. Meaning, let's say if, for example, you have this JavaScript code that you want to use, rather than you installing another plugin and then copy and paste the code in there, and then that plugin gets loaded, and then you get to use the code that you pasted, copied in your plugin. You can write that JavaScript code right in here, and if you want to include any external libraries, you can literally just paste it in here. For example, let's say you have this library that you copied from CDN.js called Sweet Alerts. You want to use that as an example for your page or post or whatever. You literally just go in here and copy paste it, and then that's that. And then you can use that particular library in your code. Just to show you, what you can do is you can take your JavaScript code, for example. In this case, I'll just have, like in here, this is my jQuery, and by the way, this thing already has built-in jQuery. So sweet code, sweet alert, you can literally just copy this code, come in here and do like an open script tag, whatever, like you normally would, include your JavaScript. So you can include your inline JavaScript right in here, and then based on that code, whatever that's in your JavaScript, you can manipulate any of your page content or your post content. Now, I don't know about you, but as a web developer, that is freaking awesome. I haven't seen any other content management system that gives you the ability. So without any further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to another topic, because it seems like this is pretty easy on the front end side, because it is, but behind scenes, when it compiles all that information together, it makes it really cool. Just to show you another feature, for example, so right now this is loads up pretty fast. Obviously you want your website to load up fast, but behind scenes, what it also does, if I look at the source code, it will also just looks like a regular source code, right? For now. But if I want to encrypt the source code, what I can do is I can go here, options, and then type in under where it says minified underscore page underscore code, and just update it. Just say yes here. That's that. And then if I reload the page, and let me close this out and look at the source code, everything is minified like within seconds. Obviously, other part is not minified, the one that you use for your within the page here, but everything else will be minified. So you go from loading the page 300 lines, now it's like 200 lines. And it's that simple. So if I don't want to minify it, I could just say update it and say no. And if I refresh it now, at the moment it's 173 lines. If I refresh the page, then it becomes 300 plus lines. So you can easily minify the page, which speeds up your website and so on and so forth. And that feature is available for you. And there's a whole bunch of other features that I want you to play around with it, but the most important ones are the ones that I want to show you. It's called like your any other website, any other content management system where there's a possibility that you want to have a pretty URL, or also known as short URL, that you want to convert. This thing has built into it. So basically what you do is you type in your URL, long one here, and let me make this a little bigger. And then what it does is it gives you the ability to customize the URL. You could type it a short version, or you can just click on this hover, the spinner thingy, and it will automatically create a short version for you. And then you can give it a little title that says, hey, this is what this URL is for, just to FYI for you. So for example, in this case, I have it, hey, this is Node.js kind of thing. And then SEO, which this thing is really incredible about that, where, let me just make this a little smaller, like your homepage, you can say the title of your homepage. So for example, let's just go in I'm just going to show you mine, or hell, I'll show you GitHub. So when you go to GitHub, this is the title, which is the world's leading software development platform. And then you have the text underneath it. When you go to your SEO part of your website, you can customize this title to say whatever you want. No matter where that thing is, it will always read from there. And you can also customize it to whatever the meta tag you want it to say. And then you can also attach a feature image. So for example, if someone goes to your website, say your website is mywebsite.com, they cut and copy and paste it into your Facebook. So whatever picture that you put in here, feature image, that's what is going to show up as a thumbnail of your website when someone puts it in Facebook or somewhere else. And that's the SEO part. This part is amazing. It will literally make your website shine beyond any other. And then let's move on to the next part, which is themes. And this comes with like 3 different themes, like I said, and we'll cover more into like a feature videos, how to create themes, how to create plugin. But I just want to give you guys an option and ability to see what this thing can do. And obviously at this point you're probably thinking, oh, this is amazing, so how do I get my hands on it? Not to worry, I have made this very simple. All you really do is, if you truly are interested, you can just click the link below in which you type in your email and name, and I will send this to you in a link where you can download it. It's absolutely free. And the reason why I'm collecting email is because I just want to see how many people are actually into it, how many people are going to need support in case if they have any questions, so I can better serve them. That's the only reason. But if you are interested in this, trying it out, I think if once you try this out, you're absolutely going to love it. But only way for you to find out if you're going to love it or not, try it. So click on the link below to get your hands on this particular software. And if you have any questions, I'm obviously here to help you make sure that this thing becomes the next best thing for you to utilize in your website. And side note, as I always do, something special for you. There's also going to be a link below in which you get a free gift. That's right, a free gift from me to you for thank you for watching this. Make sure you get that, and you can go to it by codewithmark.com/gift. That's codewithmark.com/gift. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in the next video.